So here we have Sarge. He's the only dog on the wall, but dogs were extremely important, okay? They secured perimeters, they kept watch over prisoners. But this is an interesting thing about our military dogs. They're always a rank, at least, higher than their handlers. So they're considered uncommissioned officers, and they have to always be a higher rank because they want the handlers to respect them. All right, so remember to look at the reflection. But this is the other cool thing. As you walk through, there's always going to be a statue looking at you because they're on patrol. So take note of who's looking at you and look at the reflection. So no matter where you go, one's got their eyes on you. Can you see the reflections in the wall?
Yeah, yeah.
I've actually had people say, "Oh, I know these are real sweet."
Oh wow.
One more, 2, 3, 5. Got it. You want to get out that bag?
Do you literally bring a bat? Like, do you want to go
Yes.
around?
Let's go around.
Oh, like, how many?
Madre.
So if you look here, these names are according to the branches. We have a lot more South Korean names in the Army than any other branch, and it makes sense because this is the ground troops, right? But look how many names. It's all the way around. Oh, isn't that amazing? So the numbers up there are only Americans and UN forces. They do not include the South Korean names.
Increíble, madre, cuántas personas murieron.
Pero dice que no incluyeron a los de South Korea.
Mira, eso es larga la lista. Hasta allá llega. Y dentro de los nombres, muchos latinos.
The Navy, very few South Korean names, but the Army, like I These are all the countries that were part of the UN at that time. Maybe even in the world. Lincoln really admired the Greeks. He admired their politics, their government, and particularly their art, which is why we copied Greek architecture here for his memorial. There are 36 columns. Above each column are the names of the states in the Union at the time of his assassination. Up on the top are 48 states' names. Those were in the Union when we dedicated this in 1922. Now, when you go up and look at Lincoln, he's got two sides. He's got a justice and a compassion side. So justice has the clenched fist, the knee pulled up. Compassion, the leg is stretched out a little bit and the hand is relaxed. Right underneath his hands on the front of his chair, and also right below those urns, carved are what are called fasces. And not fascists, fasces. And these are considered a great honor. So in the Greek culture, you would take this bundle of sticks, wrap it up with leather, and put an axe in it. And you would leave that on the doors of those you admired, usually leaders. Sometimes you'd follow them down the street. And it represented the fact that people that bring you together are stronger than, say, one stick, right? On his left-hand side, you'll see his Gettysburg Address. Right-hand side, his second inaugural address. Now, it took almost a decade to carve these, right? They're panels made in stone. And once they got ready to dedicate it, they realized they had a mistake in the second inaugural address. In stone, what do you do? So in the very first panel, the word is supposed to be future, and they put an E instead of an F. So they decided to go back and paint the letters and just not paint the bottom of the E. But if you look very carefully, 3/4 of the way down on that first panel toward the right, you can see the bottom of the E's.
Oh, wow.
So Lincoln, a couple people don't know this, he was a very good wrestler. He actually won 36 out of 37 matches. They have a little note about him in the Wrestling Hall of Fame. Not like he was a champion or anything, just a note that he did. He was so tall, he had to have his suits custom made, and he's the man that made Brooks Brothers famous, because he was one of their very first clients, and everybody wanted to look like that. So when they were getting ready to dedicate this, Lincoln only had one son who lived to adulthood, Robert Todd. And Robert Todd served in the government his entire life. He was 83 when they were getting ready to dedicate this, and they asked him if he would do the dedication. He said, absolutely not. What are you talking about? It took us like 2 decades to build this thing. We've been waiting forever. And he goes, you don't want me there. He said, why not? He says, because the president's going to be there. He says, so what? He says, well, I was with my father when he was shot and killed. I was standing next to President Garfield as his Secretary of War when he was shot and killed. And I was also with President McKinley when he was shot. Do you really want me here? And they said, actually, we do. And so he went home and talked to his family and made a compromise. He literally stayed 5 minutes. Like, quick. And then he left because he was so, what am I trying to, superstitious. So this is also where Dr. King gave his famous I Have a Dream speech, okay? So picture this. I'm sorry, I got distracted by that red, red shirt. I thought it was like a Valentine thing. She's rocking it, isn't she? Sorry.
Dice, aquella persona que viene vestida de rojo, a ver si la puedo encontrar.
I thought it was a red light, so.
Y con muchas
Anyway,
luces.
It is,
A lo
in
lejos
the
se ve.
90s, super humid. And most people walked an average of 8 miles to get here for this speech, right? Some of
Tiene
them
buena
walked
visión la
further.
guía.
And instead of wearing like shorts and flip-flops, you would be wearing your best Sunday dress with stockings. I don't even own stockings. And your Sunday shoes. So picture walking 8 miles in Sunday shoes. No, even worse, probably. And you're wearing a suit and a tie. I mean, and your Sunday shoes. So these people were so committed to this Civil Rights Act. And Dr. King was just one of many speakers that day. So they were out here all day long. They really wanted to get this Civil Rights Act passed. So what I'm going to do is we're going to walk up and I'm going to show you some pictures of some of the amazing events that took place here, including that March for Jobs, Freedom, and Equality. And then we'll go up, but because it's so crowded, I'm going to give you a time to meet me. See where that American flag is in that white kiosk? Yeah, we'll meet over there, but I'll let you know what time after we come out, okay? So let's go up here. So this is why we set the mall up. There's our Capitol, the center of our government or country. Faces the Washington Monument, the man that brought us together. faces the Lincoln Memorial, the man that kept us together. All right, I need your camera, and I need you to come up here and do something for me as soon as they move.
Christian.
We can put the feet.
Come on up here, okay?
Oh, I see.
Now
Yeah.
turn sideways like this. Turn like me. All right, wait for her to get
A
her
ella le
picture.
gusta hacer fotos.
Fall. You're gonna go this way and face this way. You're not in the way.
No, yo quiero.
All right, move over. Is that the coat I saw? That's a guy.
Yeah, it's a guy. Yeah. But it's unique.
¿Mm? Sí.
Está único el abrigo ese.
A bundle of sticks, and this is considered a great honorable thing. All right, we're going to go inside, take a look at the little museum, and then we'll go up and
Okay.
America. Look at all these stamps from all over the world. So he really was an influence worldwide. Most of his career, he looked like this or this. He did not grow a beard until almost his last year. So what happened, he was on the train going through these towns, encouraging people about the war, and this 10-year-old girl hands him a piece of paper that says, "Dear Mr. President, I think you would look more handsome with a beard." And so he grew the beard, and that he became famous for that beard. Over here we see the dedication.
Honduras,
Getaway.
Mali, Guatemala, Perú, Colombia,
Influencia en todos los países.
Ghana, Paraguay.
I mean, that's a visual of how many people were here
Yeah, that was
that day for the march. But we've had a lot of other famous events here. This woman is known as Marian Anderson, very famous singer. Remember when we passed by DAR, Constitution Hall, vaguely, right? They're extremely snobby, okay? And they invited her to sing there. And at that time, the hall sat about 5,000 people. I mean, we didn't have television yet. Then they found out she was an African American and they rescinded her invitation. Well, Eleanor Roosevelt had been a member of DAR, so of course she quits. And she invites Marian Anderson to sing here on Easter Sunday morning. 75,000 people showed up.
Wow.
They recorded it, and she became one of the most famous singers in the world at that time. And this is how nice she was. Man, I would not have been this nice. 22 years later, they re-invited her to sing, and she actually went. I would have turned my tongue out or something. You know. So here we have Peter, Paul, and Mary, you know, one of the great rock, blues, whatever. But here's another great picture. So go ahead and look at some of these, and then we'll head up and get some pictures. But I'm a very visual person, so when I see these things, I'm like, oh.
That was Lincoln. Oh no, it's not.
So it's very strange. They brought him in and all these pieces. Guess they couldn't. And Daniel Chester French, who sculpted him, they have a museum to him up in New England, and thousands, I'm not exaggerating, of sketches. And his granddaughter does the tours up there. And in his notebooks, he really struggled with the hands. He said that was the hardest part of this memorial. Was doing the hands. So when you go up and look, they're really, you know.
Un buen ejercicio en el día de hoy.
This should be a freaking inspection.
All right. All right, let's go find Dad.
Redo this.
¿Van a poner los
Oh, so
los firmas? Mami, pon los
It's disgusting.
Allí, pon los piecitos.
And you can't even see this.
Allí.
Throw water.
Ay, qué difícil es.
After 3:05, we'll meet at that white kiosk there, okay?
Okay.
3:05. Go get your pictures. Oh, and if you need a restroom, I tell you, they're back down where we were.
Yeah. I think I'm right.
Mami.
Save for Robin, smile. There you go. There you go. I was like, all right. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah, that's awesome.
Súper lleno. Madre de Dios, cuánto turismo aquí hoy mismo. Bueno, aquí se sientan muchas personas también a meditar, a pasarse el rato en familia. Hoy ha estado súper lleno, créanme. Ah, porque hoy es sábado.
Sí, es el
Sí.
día del presidente también.
El lunes, ¿no? Y allí se sentó Angelinita.